Welcome back to the Best Dominion Cards list 2016. We're in part 16. The cards costing 4 in the top 20. Rank 20, Temple. Temple is the second best Empires card in this list. Yeah, I also have limited experience with Temple, but I agree that it's a really good treasure. I mean, it usually is can trash 2 cards just like Steward and gives an additional point. And with shelters, it's even better potentially to being able to trash even 3 cards at the start of early on, and can also trash ruins really nicely if all lines up well. And there's of course usually the race after a certain amount of time to get a temple to gain the additional victory coins from the pile, although you don't even need the temple on its own, but you can still later trash like temple with temple a temple and a copper or something. Um, this makes temple usually a really strong opener to being able to trash fast, and it's really solid and strong card. Rank 19, Conspirator. Conspirator went 4 ranks back up and is in the top 20 again. It is 1 rank higher in the unweighted ranking, and it was voted first once. Yes, you usually build an engine that plays a lot of action cards. Conspirator is just really good payload. It's just like a Grand Market then without a plus buy, so really good for just 4 coins that you can maybe even gain with a workshop variant. So it's really good payload for your engine, and sometimes you even open with it because you need it later, although it doesn't activate in the terminal early on. So this makes it, of course, a very strong card in every engine. If you have even some way to guarantee to start with a village in hand or a cantrip that even in a game without villages, if you can somehow guarantee to have a turn start with 1 or 2 cantrips, then Conspirator is even then a good payload even in a game without villages. So this makes it really strong, and yeah, you have to go for it many times. Rank 18, Quarry. Quarry made a significant jump, 6 ranks and over 7 percentage points better. Not quite as big of a change as 2 years ago, but still. It is 5 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking, so really underappreciated by newer players. And it was voted first once. Yeah, I don't know why Quarry was rated so low in past years, but a gold you can open with a gold basically, of because you mostly also only want villages, not villages, action cards. I mean, early on, and being able to open with a gold that even gets better than a gold as the time goes by with a plus buy is just amazingly strong. So you even often forgo some strong attack like Marauder or Militia or something to open with because you can gain so many action cards fast, and this makes it just a really strong card overall if you manage to get some draw and buy. So Wharf, for example, then with Wharf Quarry is just crazy strong. You usually get then even a second quarry to make most of the action cards just cost nothing, and with a lot of buys gain like tons of actions in one turn, and free piles endings are quite regular. So yeah, um, especially quarry is especially nice with 6 cost cards also to open with, like Altar, which is just really nice to get early on. So this is makes Quarry, of course, a very strong card overall. Rank 17, Workers' Village. Workers' Village is the 4th out of 9 villages and continues the trend of villages going up, 4 ranks and nearly 5 percentage points. It has a pretty low deviation. Yeah, so as you in engines in engines you need villages, draw, payload, and buy or gains. And villages does two of the four things, which is just enables more villages as most other cards because it incorporates two of the things that a village needs, that the engine needs, and you don't need even gain two different action cards. You just need one of those. Usually you probably won't need that many buys, so after a few workers villages the extra buys are not that relevant, but still it enables free pile endings, so this is also a power that is not can't be underappreciated, overappreciated. So this makes a workers village seem as it seems pretty plain, like one card, two actions, and one buy, but it's pretty strong effect overall that you need for basically every engine. Rank 16, Militia. Militia lost 4 ranks and is lower than ever before. Yeah, Militia just is really strong. As I said with cut purse, it's not as strong early on because you might let your opponent get rid of discard 2 estates, and then Militia, the attack did nothing. But as the time goes by, if you trash down, then every card you lose is just painful, especially if the draw is not great. Then every card you lose is really hurtful. It also negates all the sifters, discard for benefit cards, cyclers, however you want to call them, like warehouse, dungeon also, because discarding down to 2 cards after playing one of those is just not really what you want. And yeah, discarding down to 3 cards is a strong effect in for many cards, and Militia is just the plain one, the vanilla one, and does it really good in most of the cases. And also, if you want to trash and still want to buy something, Militia also hurts your opponent because he has to decide if he wants to trash or wants to buy something. So yeah, it really limits the option of your opponent. Rank 15, Smithy. Smithy won 4 ranks and is now on 15, just as high as 4 years ago, but with way less cards. Yeah, Smithy is the simplest card of all of Dominion, just plus 3 cards, but it's something you need for every deck basically. Draw is just so good. You can't have enough draw in engines. You need the draw to be able to draw your deck. And in big money, it's also Smithy is not that strong, but still if it's the only option, big money is the only option. Smithy is just still a go-to because plus 3 cards is way better than everything. A lot of other things in big money. So basically, there are really a few games where you want to not buy Smithy because you want draw basically for every game, and makes Smithy a strong the 3 cards as a strong effect, and makes Smithy a strong card overall. Rank 14, Spice Merchant. Spice Merchant stays on the same rank, but is still nearly 4 percentage points better. It is 1 rank higher in the unweighted ranking and has a low deviation. Yeah, it compares really good against Moneylender and also Sacrifice, because being able to play it non-terminally and even cycles you is really strong. And if you have even the option to still give your economy and also the buy, makes it really useful. If you have early on, for example, 3, and if you use cards in action, you might only get to 4, then you still take the 2 coins and 1 buy and still have a reasonable chance to hit 5. And it's a little bit weird if Spice Merchant is the only plus buy, because getting rid of a copper to get the buy means you need to buy a copper, but then you wasted the buy, so it's really little weird. Like Forager, for example, it's the same problem. Still, the buy is still useful. If you trash down, then you can use it for plus buy N coin, something you really want if you have trash down, because you don't have a lot of economy, and if they're cheap cards, you can get even 2 cards. So this is really useful, and makes Spice Merchant a must-buy opener on many boards to get rid of your coppers. Of course, it hurts that it can't get rid of your estates, but usually Ancient can handle 3 dead cards in your deck pretty well. Rank 13, Sea-Hack. After dropping significantly from rank 1 last year, Sea-Hack still falls a bit. It was voted first 3 times and is still 2 ranks higher in the unrated ranking. And its median is still quite high in comparison to its average. And it has only a lead of 0.06 percentage points over Spice Merchant. Yeah, Sea-Hack is a pretty brutal attack. Not only does it curse, which is of course pretty strong, the strongest attack type of all the attacks. It also puts the card on top of the deck, which is often ignored, or lately I saw in the forums also that if the talk was about Sea-Hack, people often forget that it top decks the curse, which is pretty significant because the effect is immediate. So even if you curse late, uh, the effect is immediate and can lead to a dead turn. And also, early on, it really prevents often to hit 5. With Sea-Hack games, you often need to wait a long time until you hit 5, because the attack is so brutal and so immediate, which leads to really degenerate games, but really sloggy games. Which means that basically on every board where there is no trashing or weak trashing, you have to go for it, because trashing those curses will be painful, and as you get the curse right away, it's you can't. It's harder to handle those curses. So this makes Sea-Hack still, I think, deservingly a strong card. Of course, it's not as strong as it used to be. There are a lot of cards that can trash from the top of your deck, like Upgrade, Lookout, Chunk Dealer, or other cards that don't mind, that you can even play, basically, that you otherwise wouldn't play if you wouldn't know that the curse is on top of the deck with 5 good cards in hand, but that don't mind just trashing from the top of your deck. And then the attack gets really negated pretty fast, because you can trash the curse right away. One other thing is, of course, if you both go for Sea-Hack and one Sea-Hack flips a Sea-Hack, then you're just way behind, and this is of course really nasty in some games, but of course leads to also to a strong effect of Sea-Hack. Even if you don't go for Sea-Hack, if the opponent's Sea-Hack flips your strong card that you open with, then you're pretty far behind. Rank 12, Port. Port is the third out of 9 villages, and it got a huge boost as well. 8 ranks and nearly 9 percentage points. It was voted first once and is 2 ranks lower in the unrated ranking. Here Port basically reads 1 card 3 actions, but it's so much better than that, because being spread out over 2 cards, the likelihood of drawing a village in your starting hand is higher, which is a huge is really important. And also, if you like pile the ports or something, it is great for pressure benefit. so you probably won't need all the ports, but it's if you have something, any card that's good with reds or fortress or something, then port is also a really good target for it. It's of course limited use, but you can transmogrify, remake, upgrade those ports into 5-cost cards, and get really get your deck running really fast. So this means port is just amazing. You can get a few extra terminals before you get a village, and then just get 2 villages right away, which makes your deck just so much better, and makes this of course one of the best villages for 4 berries. Rank 11, Young Witch. Young Witch stays on the same rank basically, but isn't in the top 10 anymore. It's still won a bit in its average. It is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Young Witch is the better cursor. I think it's debatable which one is better, because Seahag is the attack is just more brutal and guaranteed, while Young Witch, your opponent may have a Bane. But with a terrible Bane, Young Witch is just still so much better, because it does something to your deck. Being able to discard, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards is really good, because in a deck with a lot of junk, you always can discard something, and then you have still a good chance to hit 5 or something, after a few shuffles at least. So Young Witch's strength of course depends on the Bane, but if the Bane is like Masterpiece or uh, yeah, something, I can't come up with any other terrible Bane, but that your opponent really won't get, then Young Witch is just really good. Uh, but if the Bane is like Lighthouse, which then can defend in play or in hand, then Young Witch is just not good at all, and your opponent still has to open, for example, still with the Bane, to be sure to be defended against Young Witch. But after a few Banes, if they are um, if they are good in masses, then your opponent really won't get a Young Witch anymore. So it really depends on the Bane, which one is better, Young Witch or Seahag, but I can see Young Witch being better anytime. So this was ranks 11 to 20. Some really good cards already in there that are... It's weird that they are not in the top 10, but the top 10 has really a lot of good cards. Again, leave some comments or what you think about the placement of the cards. What do you think about the 2 cursors? Is it right that they aren't in the top 10 anymore? And what do you think will appear on 1? Leave some predictions. See you soon. Bye.